So in this video, I'm going to go over a little bit more detail of what the various reports and Acculynx will show you. So again, if we start on our main dashboard, once we've logged in, we're going to go to Reports Plus and then hit Report Library. So I'm just going to point out a few key reports that you will have access to and basically kind of go over what each of those reports are going to show you. I would like to take a second to explain, it may seem obvious, but just so we're all on the same page, these reports are constantly going to have the most up-to-date information, so long as everyone is marking things in Acculynx the appropriate way that we went over in the production process. As long as those things are being marked correctly, then these reports should be able to accurately pull up all of the most recent information. And like I said, I'll kind of go over what each report is going to show you. So in the All Jobs Recap report, this one is going to be really useful for any production manager that just kind of wants to see every job that's either, you can dilute it down to just your trade, or if you open the report as it naturally is, it's going to give you basically every current open approved job that has not been completed. So I would recommend this report for windows department, for gutter department, for any managers who just kind of want to check in on what kind of our current job open order status is, essentially. And keep in mind, like I said in the previous video, this is a company report, which means anyone at JTech can access it. And the cool thing about this is that it's going to show you, again, all the information for both the Lincoln Omaha and Tri-Cities portals, which can be helpful and just a time saver, so you're not going back and forth between the different portals, having to pull the same report twice. Let's see. If we scroll down, another great one is going to be job permits report. This is going to be specifically about permitting, and as we get more into that, this is going to be a good tool. But right now we're not accessing any of that data, so there's nothing showing up here quite yet. Let me go back. This production process recap report is going to be a great one for trades that require labor tickets and material orders to be in Acculynx. So siding and roofing mainly are going to be using this, or really any order that we need to hire a subcontractor to complete and do the install. So again, this is a company report, so you should all have access to it as well. And also it will show you information for both construction in Lincoln, Omaha, as well as Tri-Cities. So this is, again, going to be a great one for siding and roofing. I will have 2 subsequent videos after this that kind of go over those 2 reports in detail, show you how to edit them and whatnot. You have your production trades report, which is going to just show you open trades, and that's an automatic Acculynx report. So this is a good base report if you're wanting to edit something down and show you specific information. This is a great starting point to make a copy of. Same thing with status report. This is going to talk about in which statuses most of our open orders are sitting in, which again is usually going to be in the approved status. But if we have jobs under completed status with open orders, those might be repairs and the such. But if you scroll down and you click next to the status, it'll show you all the jobs that lie within that particular status. So that might be a helpful report at times. If we scroll down to the bottom, you're going to have more sales-oriented reporting down here, which we'll cover in a different video. Also, you have your repair recap, which again, company report for both Omaha, Lincoln, and Tri-Cities, and that's just going to be every open repair order that we have in the company for all trades. But to simplify it a little bit, I also went ahead and made a roofing repairs report, which would be a great tool for the roofing repair guy to be able to go in and just kind of go in and click and see kind of what current open repair orders we have for just roofing. And again, these are gonna automatically go from oldest to newest, but you can change that. Again, at the top of these reports, you know, any of these columns, you can organize the list based on any of these column information. But I would recommend going order created date, oldest to newest. That should give you a good priority starting point. And keep in mind, you can also click on the job names. Those are going to be hyperlinks. So when you click on a job name, it's simply just going to open in a new tab. So it's not going to close the report, but it's going to open that job in the new tab. So you can edit what you need to, simply hit X, go back to your report, and go on to the next one. That's pretty useful. Again, if you're wanting to narrow these reports down by specific date ranges, that's always going to be in this gray toolbar up here at the top. You would just simply go to date range and choose what you'd like. Keep in mind you can choose custom and choose specific dates as well. Let's go back to the overall list. It is always going to bring up this, are you sure you want to exit their unsaved changes? And, you know, especially if you haven't made a copy, I would always hit OK. You don't want to be changing company reports and then saving them. That's just, you know, going to cause confusion. So again, if you want to kind of edit or narrow down a report even further and it's a company report, make sure you're going to the three dots next to that report. Copy as my report. I'm just going to label this as test copy. When you hit copy there, it's then going to show up on your list as a My Report option, and then you can go in. It's going to open the same as the report you copied, but now when you go and make different edits on this report, you'll notice that these green save buttons come up, and at that point, if you hit save, it's going to save the changes to the test copy, so the next time you open that test copy report, it should be exactly as you left it. You could also choose the save as, but that's again going to make another copy. So I wouldn't really recommend hitting the save as. You're going to clog up all of your report list with just a bunch of copies. That can get really confusing. So just be careful when you're accessing that. So when we go back to the overall, again, as long as you're not hitting save or making copies of things, I really recommend just going in there, clicking around, seeing what information is available if it's useful to you. You're not going to mess anything up so long as those green save buttons aren't pressed. You should be good to go. When you exit that report, it should just stay as it was prior to you changing it. That was just a brief description of kind of the useful reports that we currently have within Acculynx, and I will follow this up with some following videos to kind of do a deep dive into each of those reports and their functionalities.